Welcome to the
We can have
tourism
that
meeting.
discussion. I know we should always stop and check.
Need a motion to approve the minutes of June 12th, 2023. Mr. Wild, Ms. Runyon, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, action agenda. We'll turn it over to Heather.
Okay. So, in looking at the structure of the department, which I'll stand up here. And then if they want copies. Looking at the structure of the department and specifically, based on the previous committee's conversations with regards to occupancy tax and how much need there is for more oversight in our office on a day-to-day basis. We are looking to what I'm going to call recreate or bring back a position that has to be what the director was years ago. And that's what I've been told. I haven't been given the year or anything, but as a tourism coordinator, we currently have a tourism coordinator, excuse me, the tourism assistant tourism coordinator in the office. I would like to create this position to oversee all things occupancy tax from, and this is more of a help to me to keep a better eye on a probably day-to-day, if not weekly basis of the ins and outs of the money flow, as well as being in the community to help complete the applications. And then what we come out of the occupancy tax committee of recommendations on where that is to go, that person will assist the committee, the occupancy tax committee. I know I keep referring to that, but that's where they'll help and to really assist those committee members with questions they may have on those applications going forward. And also this position is to assist me in the day-to-day operations of the tourism department. I do have the description if anyone would like to see.
I like that.
Should I put it in the agenda? My apologies. Thank you. I'm going to take a couple back there. Thanks, description. Bam.
Thank you. Thank you.
So then, just to kind of go over the overall person, that again, they're going to manage the occupancy tax from beginning to end. So from the second someone says, I'd like to complete an application, this is the person, the forefront person to assist the public, to make sure that they are abiding by the regulations that is going to be set forth, and that we continue that process all the way through to the execution of the contract, so that they can make sure they work with the individual recipient to make sure that they are providing that. I would like to give a shout out to Lisa Grant, who has been doing a lot of this work, and therefore I want to commend her for doing a lot of that, and she does need help. So as I say, it's for me, it's more for her. I need her to focus more on the financial pieces of it, the day-to-day finances, and not necessarily the contract portions of it. So thank you, Lisa, for doing all of that and keeping this going. And then the other piece is to oversee the matching funds program. That is through New York State. It's the I Love New York matching funds. We receive funding from them to market New York State, specifically our destination. And therefore, this is, they will be the oversight of that particular fund as well, or should I say, it's not a fund in the essence of a budget, but a fund in the essence of a need. And then also proceed with the assistance of purchasing audits, payments, and contract management as well. And obviously, the last couple of four budget bullets, so to say, or lines are very typical work of those staff members who are within the tourism department. Some go to meetings, some we require them to be friendly and personable and helpful. Are there any questions?
Mr. Weil.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Heather, we are deleting a position then.
Yes, so within this, and to thank you, as Mr. Supervisor Wild, as you raise your hand, I was remembered to say that with this, review of the internal offices, there are two positions that we will eventually, delineate. In this particular instance, we are delineating the I believe it's the senior events and keep me honest, what does it say on that sheet? Senior events.
Tourism Development Events Coordinator.
Thank you, thank you. We are eliminating that position. A lot of it has to do with the job descriptions and also working with civil service as well as human resources to first identify what the need was for the office and then come up with the appropriate position title. So working through that, that particular position and the requirements of that position didn't quite fit all the needs for that. So that's why we are eliminating it. The second piece that I left out is this is all part of the budget. We have budget for this within the existing salary line that we have. We do currently have two positions down. Again, really looking at the needs of the department, not necessarily what's on paper and what needs to be filled.
Ever want to let them know who's gonna be moving into this?
I would love to move Paul into that position. He basically handled a lot of the ins and outs of when I was not in this position. And he has been a great asset. He also has taken some of the finance tests and passed them, and therefore can really assist with that if need be, and have a better knowledge of it, so I don't have to train another person to do that. And that beautiful big chart that you saw, that is the job and role that Paul will take over, making sure that that is updated on a regular basis and keep the cash flow, which is pretty much the most important piece of, the operating of the department, is making sure the ins and outs of those dollars are accounted and cash flow is looked at.
Well,
I think the idea of forming a tourism coordinator, not new, is a good idea. Been around for a while. And I think Paul Tackett would be an excellent choice for that position. And that's not new, that's been around. And with Paul, if we created the position, would Paul be your appointment, or would it be this committee's appointment, or how does that
well, I
happen?
think it's Heather's
I
request.
believe that there, and I actually looked back because I believe there was something passed recently regarding the department heads making that decision. But I will be open to any comments or any.
It is Heather's appointment, but it's our decision to move it forward.
I'm not sure that this board would, or this committee would oppose to that. However, stranger things have happened. I will tell you, he has been a wonderful asset to me. Day one.
Well,
It should be.
I would make a motion to approve the creation of tourism coordinator, deleting the position of personnel and events coordinator, and support Heather's appointment of Paul Tackett to that position. Maybe that's more of a motion than what I need.
You got it all in there.
All right, so if everybody understands.
Yes.
There's a second.
You
to
have
that
to read
motion.
it first, but we don't have to. We'll move it all as one. So Scott, you making that motion?
Second.
Mr. Weil, thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I got a question on how did you arrive at the grade 12 level?
That was through human resources. Based on. I had a feeling this might have been answered. So based on the number of years that he has been here. And then it's added to the current grade that he is at now, and it's my understanding that he might be at it now. And there's 3 points added, so then he becomes 12. But I apologize, it's more of an HR and it's their grading system that they have to follow through New York State.
So that's a standard policy
It's a standard.
that the
policy.
county utilizes when we're looking at changing grades for positions.
Correct, and it's more about a couple of things. It's more about the job itself, as well as the staff member, the number of years they've been with the county, and or could be the state, depending upon, the types of positions that they're in. And then that grade is based on, that new grade is based on not only the position, but the amount of time they've been with the county.
So the salary reflects his years of experience in the county.
Correct.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Diamond. Any other questions? All right, we'll move. We got a motion and we got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Hearing none, pass. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you all very much for your support.
No.
You ready for workshop?
Yeah, work.
Yeah. You guys ready?
All right, up was the presentation from Ed Workshop. So the fall 2023.
Yeah, this is the same as we already have. Okay.
Just bigger on legal paper.
Good morning, everyone. So we're here with workshop. We're presenting the fall media plan, which will be running August through October of this year. So in your agendas for this new, Heather just passed out, we're gonna go through the themes.
It's not, well, hold on.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry. We've talked about this before, whether or not this should be an open session or not, because it's competitive information. So should this, again, I'm gonna bring it up, should this be an executive session for us to discuss this topic?
One of the things that I've asked them to do is to kind of reformat and restructure the way this is presented. So it's more top line. So it's not specific as to exactly what we're doing with each of our tactics. But it's more top line. So we took into consideration your feedback at prior committees. So it is if no one else can take our Bible.
All right, okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The only thing, young lady, that you have to speak up a little bit or move
Okay.
closer to that mic.
And introduce yourself.
So we're with workshop. My name's Carolyn Bordenaro. I'm the account executive, working directly with Heather.
I'm Ally with the our Director of Paid Media, handling all of the media buys, management, reporting, and so on.
So this morning, we're here to go through the fall media plan to get your approval. We're gonna go through the process and the stage that we're in right now, the themes, tactics, and then the overall media plan. So we're presenting it a little different than in the past, but should give you all the information you need to decide whether to move forward or not. So currently, this is a process we go through for each season. I'm not going to read through all of the steps there, but we are on step 2. So we've already met with Heather to do a kickoff meeting, determine the target audiences, our messaging goals, and the overall budget. We are here today to present the media plan and get your approval. Once we do that, we will be determining the assets, creating ad mockups for Heather to review, setting up the campaign in our systems, and launching for August 1st. Ongoing, we do campaign management. We do optimizations in real time And at the end of the campaign, we always do a reporting on the full campaign and go through that with the team. Great, I'm gonna hand it over to Ally to go through the fall themes that we've determined.
So looking at this past or in fall 2022, trends we saw coming for fall 2023, what Warren County has to offer and what you have available on your website, as well as assets. We put together the top trends and themes that we're going to go after for this year. Kind of broken down in 4 different categories. First being outdoor recreation, horseback riding, fall foliage, fishing, hiking, golf, and scenic drives. Looking at attractions, family activities, Six Flags, Fort William Henry, and shopping. Events, balloon festival, various fall festivals, and Oktoberfest. And then lastly, food and drink, including wineries, restaurants, dinner theater, breweries, and distilleries. Then I'm going to go through our different fall tactics that we are planning to use. I'll give a little bit of background on what each of those are, and then we'll go into kind of combining those themes, the tactics, into what our media plan is going to look like for this fall. So I won't go too much into television because I think we are all quite familiar. But our ads for television include 15 and 30-second commercials, primarily in the New York City, Albany, and Syracuse and Utica markets. Connected TV takes that same concept and puts TV commercials on streaming devices. Since streaming has become a dominant part of media consumption and TV consumption, it's become an increasingly more valuable way to portray a similar message in front of a very interested audience. So devices for that can include Hulu, Disney Plus, Roku, Fubu Sling. I know there's a million out there and everyone has a different combination of them, but this allows us to get on those devices and in front of our target audience and really hone in on who we're reaching. Paid social, we use Meta or Facebook and Instagram in this case to sponsor advertising that blends right in with the feed or stories of our audience. We're able to reach them in market based on behavioral targeting and who's interested in what we have, what we're putting out there. Flip to the next page, we have native advertising. That is a form of advertising that blends right in with the format of where it is being served. So my favorite example is if you're on a news website, you might be reading an article or reading something, you kind of scroll down to the bottom and you see off to the side or down at the bottom something that says read more, suggested for you, and you have all sorts of different other articles that you can click on next. One of those says sponsored or ad. That's an example of a native article or native advertisement. So it blends right into wherever it's being served. Again, we could target our audiences to make sure we're reaching people who are going to engage with that content and it is most relevant to. Google Ads. A lot of people search. That's one of the primary ways of consuming and finding information, and Google tends to be the primary search platform. So to ensure that we are showing up in a top position for many of the searches that we are targeting, we put some money behind Google Ads to ensure that one of those that says ads comes from us and not a competitor. And lastly, with all of these tactics, it's really important to also retarget, which includes re-engaging previous audiences who have been to your website within the past 30 days. We know they're interested and visit the Lake George area top of mind to encourage them to visit during the fall season. So those are all the tactics. Any questions before I move on to the media plan? Yes, too.
For the events, the fall themes, can you add music events to that? So, because we funded the Bluegrass Festival, it's up in, and their lineup is tremendous. It's really well known, more of from the South where a lot of bluegrass, so it's new for us. And the Jazz Festival that's also in September, they all fall around the same time.
Right.
Just because it's a different audience for our destination, I think in that fall, I just bring that up.
Awesome.
And then the one thing, so we bought into Zartico as a research dashboard. So it's feeding in, so we're getting all of the mobile data and the and the credit card data. And the Plattsburgh Burlington market keeps coming up that the average visitor spends more than other visitors. Of course, they come here because we have shopping and other things that they don't have. But I only bring that up and I will, I'm sorry, I didn't think about it before and I'll apologize to Heather offline as well. But I can add you to have a seat. I'll do that right when I get back, so that then you can see director's briefs, you can look at the last 90 days, you can look at the last 2 weeks, you can. And they've just added, so right now, all of our Smith Travel research is being fed into that, you know, we get the dailies and the weeklies and our competitors. So we're using that tool a lot more from these kinds of decisions, but also to help some investors that are looking at our market to reinvest or buy properties here. So, but I can add them as a seat if that's.
That would be great. Thank you.
Diamond?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was looking at your fall theme on the second page, and I was wondering if it would make sense to include the Cool Arena as an attraction in the fall calendar year.
The marina, you said?
Your Cool Arena,
Cool arena.
where they have multiple events that are occurring, that maybe people would come to the arena for a specific event and then enjoy our area during that same period of time. We have fall hockey, we're booking concerts. I think that should be included as an attraction, independent of, say, family activities. You can just call out the Cool Arena. Somebody can go to that and get a list of what's occurring there also that may bring them to the area.
Great.
Thank you.
Mr. Wild? I'm sorry.
Chairman, thank you. Since we're into the question phase here before the presentation is done. This may be for Heather and Gina, I don't know for sure. But there was a discussion earlier about people doing more international travel. We don't have as much possibly leisure travel here this year than we have in the past. I know we've done heat maps. So I'm wondering if we're using some of the more recent data to retarget or redirect some of our targeting. Because the New York City area may be more maybe traveling outside of the area than here, and maybe we could redirect to somewhere else. Just curious.
From an international perspective, we are not doing marketing at the moment to internationals, but will be, hopefully. But yes, we are using technologies to attract and or redirect to target those that are here in our market. Yes.
No, I was more thinking international, that the locals, the New York City, the Albany, that more people are traveling away from Lake George instead of possibly coming to Lake George. And if we had any data that might tell us, maybe we need to shift or change some of our messaging. That
There is a training, and I think it's through US Travel. They do this every quarter, so I believe the next one's either August or September, that kind of give trends like that. So when I sit on it, I will, and actually maybe I'll pull the prior session. That kind of just gives overall trends of the travel market itself, and share that with the committee as well. But we do look at a lot of those types of things. And it's more of an overarching, because again, we're looking at it from a world perspective versus, you know, a Lake George area perspective, but it gives us insights to make better decisions on paid media and marketing
And
efforts.
just one more while I'm at it. There was some work that we did to capture cell phone data. Like where are they from, right? When they kind of come into our area and get pinged. I thought we had some information like that.
So
Are we seeing anything different than what we've seen like last year in that kind of data?
I'm just writing. Are
You
you
do it
seeing
next month.
something different in these articles?
I can see how people move around, you know, because we put in POIs, like filtering it to POI. I'm picturing one of the graphs has every town
About.
and
you show the
different
movements.
colors. Yeah. I think some of our smaller towns are seeing greater, you know, dispersion of people, and it could be because of Airbnbs everywhere, or, you know what I mean? So we don't have the air DNA data in this, but people are staying somewhere, and so their credit cards and their cell phones are moving.
Yeah.
You know, so I say the outskirts, you know, Stony Creek, North Creek, you know, some of those smaller, the town, I mean, the large landmass, but you're seeing a lot more movement within. If that makes
Yeah.
sense, but I'll work with Heather, we can automate a report. You know, for anybody on both this committee and the occupancy tax committee, where you can see that.
So we can also get a sense of where they're coming from
Yeah.
also.
Yes,
So
we
that-
do,
and-
but I get a whole bar,
Yeah.
you know, New York City, it's still right there,
Yeah.
and what their expenditures are top. But then that's why I brought up the Burlington, Plattsburgh market, because
We
it's.
can definitely get you.
No, I'm just curious in terms of what kind of data we're using, and how it's going. Maybe just an update
Yeah,
next month.
And it's-
short one.
yeah, and we can definitely add that to, you know, the reports as well, to kind of showcase, okay, in this time period, we're seeing traffic from here, 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 and here, and here, their interests are this, and this. And it could also be a combination of not only what we're seeing here, but overlay it with the marketing and kind of make adjustments.
Of course, what we could share in open session too, right?
Absolutely.
So, you know, they do mention that fall 2023 themes. And the Bloom Festival and Oktoberfest. Are we gonna be adding the light show, which is Thanksgiving, and ice castles, which is Thanksgiving, because that's the fall?
Correct. So if I may interject a little bit, I've asked them at the task, because this was about a month ago, to stick with fall with the understanding that our winter is gonna be longer. So that will be part of their winter, and we're gonna ask them to come back a little bit sooner than they normally do. Because yes, this is fall focus, and we're always a little before fall to promote fall. Our winter is actually gonna start a lot earlier than it normally does with the agency, and therefore we'll be coming back with the winter campaign. So as you're gonna see in fall, the two are probably most likely gonna overlap a little bit, you know, at the end of fall. So you're not gonna see the winter in here, but you will see it because we're gonna, at the next phase, because we are gonna do a winter campaign that they're gonna put together.
So,
But it will be sooner than you normally would. It's not gonna be in 3 months.
all right, so Thanksgiving will be part of the winter campaign.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
All right, any other, what, you gotta have more on it?
Yep.
Great, so I'll move on to the fall media plan. So flip to the next page. Starting with television, our markets that we are going after are Albany, Syracuse, and the New York market. For Albany, we'd like to use Spectrum, WNYT, WREB. For Syracuse, Utica, Spectrum, WSTM, and WSYR. And for New York City, Spectrum and News 12. Forgot to mention, we were given an overall budget of $168,000. The flight we'd use for TV would be August 14th to October 8th, with a total budget of $72,000. For connected TV, our markets would go a little bit broader and include Rochester here. But again, Albany, Syracuse, New York, and Rochester. August 14th to October 15th for that flight, for a total of $49,000. Flipping again, paid social, we get a little bit broader with our markets here since it's a little bit more top funnel. Albany, Syracuse, Utica, Rochester, New York, Boston, Springfield, Hartford, and Montreal. And with that, I would like to add in Plattsburgh and Burlington, the themes that are relevant. The flight of August 14th to 15th. The specific themes we'd focus on here are fall foliage, horseback riding, top attractions, family fun, food and drink, and events. For a total of $22,150. Native advertising, the same markets I just mentioned, same flight of August 14th to October 15th. And for these, we feature different blogs. One would be a new blog that the tourism department's putting together on haunted experiences. And the other is a Lake George leaf peeping guide for a total of $10,000. And the very last page, are retargeting, which the audience there would be website visitors from the past 30 days. We'd start that September 1 to make sure we're catching the most recent audience running through October 31st at a total of $3,500. And then Google Ads, we target by state. So New York, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and Quebec and Ontario. September 1 to October 31st. Our themes overall will be branded Lake George, outdoors, top attractions, events, stay, and food and drink for a total of $11,450. That is our fall media.
If I can add one comment to that, although these budgets are presented as is, as we see any changes in the market, we may move dollars around. We may cut off campaigns, change creative, so on and so forth. So I just wanted to let that be known that we do utilize the analytics that we have access to on a regular basis to make adjustments and changes to each of the campaigns.
Any other questions? Thank you, ladies. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So you asked about winter. You guys might want to stay because you haven't heard this yet. Okay. We'll stay right back. I'm gonna tote my team again and say that I have been blessed with a fabulous team and therefore it makes it easy to do my job. We have been meeting on winter since the day that we found out we have a lot of new attractions and things that are happening. And therefore, we are creating a campaign that sets Warren County and the Lake George area apart from any other destination. We have a very unique opportunity here, and we want to make sure that we capitalize on it. So I'm actually going to read, which I normally don't, but this is the work of my staff. And I want to make sure that their words are resonating exactly as they depicted them in their writings. So in the winter, a single ice crystal falls through the Earth's atmosphere and takes the form of a one-of-a-kind snowflake. Millions of these miracles come together throughout the season to create the spectacular winter backdrop of a snowy day in the Queen of America's Lakes winter realm. And like the snowflake, unique in all of its aspects, the Lake George area is a one-of-a-kind destination, offering experiences that cannot be replicated anywhere else. From days skiing, riding, and snowshoeing to the thrilling winter carnivals, myriad holiday events, and an exciting new immersive winter experience and nightly skating surrounded by lights, music, and amazing ice sculptures carved by skillful artists. The Lake George area has become a magical winter wonderland, offering an abundance of exclusive experiences, each as unique as a snowflake. The Warren County Tourism Department is thrilled to put together an exciting winter plan themed the Lake George area, unique as a snowflake, playing off the dynamic and varying attractions the county has to offer, simulating the rare points of a snowflake. Like no place else in the world, the Lake George area is the perfect place to be for unique winter fun and excitement. So we are going to create a winter brochure that will be mailed to all those requesting the travel guide in the past, distribute at a travel center and drive time markets, and at a winter travel show in October. It'll include print, digital, and email campaign to a market of Massachusetts, Connecticut, Westchester, and New York areas, as well as a robust media plan to target markets via tactics to be discussed with workshop. Hence the reason why I asked you to stay. Thank you. All of this would be supported with social media engagement, both organically and via paid posts, push to new and existing web pages. We're going to work closely with all of the winter tourism partners to ensure that all assets are included and that we have the most up-to-date information available to promote the Lake George area as a unique winter destination for all. And the best part about this is we can do this with the existing funds that we have been given in the adopted budget. So with that, I am excited to say that the Lake George area, unique as a snowflake, is going to be our theme. And we are going to write it out as we are a destination unlike any other. And through the support of the Board of Supervisors, we are able to do that. Because there is no other place that you can go in the Northeast, and I want to say in the US, but I'm not that privy of other things happening, that we are the place to come
for all of this excitement. And they only need to come to us. So we are very excited for that. So I want to thank my team for developing that and thank the Board of Supervisors for the support that you give to the community to help develop this so that we have the best jobs to promote it. Any questions? Back to you,
All
Chair.
right, Heather, very good.
Yeah, so I did.
We have no referrals. How about privilege to the floor? Anybody that's still left here and questions? Okay. Being none. Okay, motion adjourned. Mr. Stroud. Ms. Brazier, we're adjourned. Thank you all.